Welcome to What's Your Signature?
Hi, and welcome to another episode of What's Your Signature? I'm your host, Sophia von Siren. Now, guys, I've noticed when I've played back these videos that it looks like I am looking away from my guests, which is absolutely not the case. I have it in gallery view, so I'm like doing the interview, like fully focused on my guest's little picture frame. And then when it like processes, then it like mirrors it and it looks like I'm like staring vacantly into space away from a guest. Just so you all know, not the case. Super focused on what I'm doing. Guys, so my next guest is all the way from Australia and she is an amazing performer. I know I say that every time, but like legit everybody I'm interviewing is like amazing. I think so anyway, and also other people. So then, anyway, she's from Australia, Scottish born, but lives there now, and her name is Whisky Falls. So please welcome Whisky. Hi Whisky, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. The pleasure is all mine. So before we start chatting about nonsense, tell me about, are you guys having any classes at the moment or anything you would like to chat about?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. For those that don't know, I live in Melbourne, Australia now, which is pretty crazy. So I moved here in 2018 and I've been very lucky to be invited onto the teaching faculty of Maison Burlesque, which is based here in Melbourne. And we are very fortunate to be offering classes online. So you can study with an array of amazing teachers who I've admired since when I lived in the UK. I'm very lucky to be involved and I teach a few classes for them. So I teach strut and tease, a lyrical flow class, slow and sultry. And these are all sort of technical or choreography classes, and you can do drop-in or you can sign up for a whole course. We really have a lot of, and we're also offering lots of financial support for those who maybe have lost their jobs at this time as well. So if anyone is interested in taking classes with me or any of the other teachers at Maison, I'd love you to head over to the website. Should I say the website? Is that a good thing?
I'm going to put all the links at the end of the video so you can send me a link and I'll put them on. So we don't have to go through that. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome. So you don't have to live in Australia. Anybody just sign up for the online classes?
Yeah, correct. I've been tutoring someone from Belgium, someone from Nashville, people from New Zealand. So we're also, any classes you take part in, we are using the recording function and you're able to access those for almost a week, I think, after the class. So even if you're in a different time zone, you can just upload the video whenever you're ready and join in.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it like, I think it's so wonderful how this, like what's happening in the world right now has like opened up these opportunities, because normally nobody that lived outside of Melbourne would do the classes, right? Like
totally. Yeah. And you always, especially now we're like all on Instagram and, following each other on Facebook and all of these things. I don't know about you, but I've always been intrigued, like, oh man, that looked so cool what that person just posted about, or I'd love to learn from them, or, oh, I did that workshop once when they came to my country or whatever. And now there's that little bit more connection. I think people are making a bit more effort. So I don't know, I'm trying to be an optimist in this crazy time and see it as a great learning curve, using all this technology and utilizing it to hone your skills and the chance to interact with people. I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing many people in real life. So
absolutely, we are not seeing anybody. We're not allowed to leave our homes.
Well, I'm virtually in your home with you now.
Yay! That's amazing. So, Whisky, like, without like wanting to sound like Captain Obvious here, I think like I literally started following you because of your name, because I love whiskey and your name is Whisky Falls. So I was like, oh, this person, yes, follow.
Love that.
How, like you're Scottish, like born in Scotland, right? So it's like you like whiskey? Is that how your name came about?
Yeah, basically, I was living in London at the time. I moved to London when I was quite young, like late teens. So I did all my growing up in Scotland. I moved to London on a dance scholarship, and then like cut to 5 years later, and I'm kind of auditioning and not really knowing what I want to do and not really fitting in anywhere. And I came across burlesque and some people in the burlesque scene and thought, this feels really like somewhere I could perform, you know, somewhere I could let my creative juices flow. And so, of course, I was doing the whole thing we all went through of what will my name be? Because my real name is a very boring, traditional Scottish name. And I'd read a blog somewhere that said something about how alcohol can be quite a sexy name, particularly like the brands of alcohol, like Cavossier or, you know, like these kind of words. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea because I love alcohol. At this point in time, I was a massive party animal. And I was like, well, what do I like to drink? And I was like, well, I like whiskey. And then I kind of had a little chuckle to myself. So I was like, well, that's kind of funny because one, it doesn't really sound sexy at all. But two, I am Scottish. So that's kind of like a massive stereotype and layers that I'm this Scottish whiskey. And then I was like, yeah, that kind of works. And so, yeah. And then I used it. And then I find more people refer to me as that now than was my real name, to be honest. Yeah.
That's cool. I found like with my, like in the burlesque community, I don't even know people's real names. Like we just call each other our stage names.
Yeah. Do you know what? It even confuses my mum now. When my mum used to come and visit me, and if I tried to say, like if I'd become really good friends with someone, you know, maybe knew their real life name, and my mum would be like, don't call them that. I can't. It's confusing. Just call everyone their stage name. No. Okay.
That's so cute.
When my mum shouted across a bar in London, "Whiskey!" at me, I thought, okay, this is the thing now. Yeah.
This is who I am now.
Yeah. When your mum shouts your name, you kind of know that.
That is so cute. So besides whiskey, would you beer or wine?
Oh, big weird. Weird? Yes, I'm a weird
fan.
Person. No, I'm a.
Love some beer.
Oh my God, I'm living up my Scottish heritage.
You've just created a new drink, girl.
Yeah, anything with alcohol in it. Probably a wine fan, purely because that beer, like I love beer, I love a good beer, but I definitely can't handle as much of it in terms of the bloating and the stuff, you know.
I've stopped drinking beer because beer belly, hello.
Yeah, right? And
yeah.
Like, and then when you get into your 30s, it's like, it just seems to sit for a lot longer.
It does not want to go. Yeah, I feel your pain. I'm like, I can't drink beer anymore. Like, unfortunately.
But wine, so we're definitely a wine household, you know. Like one of your 5 a day, right? That's like one of my grapes.
It's basically a vegetable. Well, it's a fruit, grapes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're chilling at home, like, are you a sweater or hoodie person?
Oh, sweater, definitely.
What do you call them in the UK? A jumper?
Yeah, jumper. We say jumper, yeah. But I don't own anything, any like zip up things or anything with a hood.
No, nothing.
And you know what? I wouldn't have even thought about it till you actually asked that question. But actually going through my wardrobe, I'm like, yeah, I only own jumpers.
Oh my gosh.
Or if I borrow something, the only time like, because I would wear like a hat, like I wear a berry or you know something.
Oh, that's cool.
Or I try and carry an umbrella if it rains, but they just I either leave them somewhere or they're cheap and they go inside out or. Yeah, but yes, I'm definitely a sweater. sweater person, because then if I put a jacket over the top, there's not that bulk, you know, like.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't get that cold in South Africa. I think maybe in Australia, you guys also don't get as cold as it does in the UK.
Down here in Melbourne, we get kind of, I would say like winter in Melbourne is like the UK autumn. So it's still cold enough to wear like a good jacket. You know, I had to buy myself like a cozy fur jacket. But like right now it's the start of autumn and it was like 22 degrees here. And I was out for a walk today with my partner and I was like, oh my God, this is funny because if we were back in the UK, we would be like tops off, you know, sunbathing. Whereas here in Melbourne, people are walking around with jumpers on. So I guess it's like how cold does it get where you are? What's the coldest you get?
It's super mild, and because I'm in Cape Town, so the winters here are not. The Cape Townians would say that's very cold, but I'm from the north of the country, so it gets way colder there. But like it gets like maybe 13, 12 degrees in winter, which it never goes below 0. So it's like,
oh yeah, you're fine.
If things doesn't freeze, it's not that cold, right?
I mean, in Scotland, 12 degrees when I was growing up was summer. That was like,
oh my God.
I have this vivid memory. It's a really, I tell this over here in Australia all the time. It was the summer holidays from school and my friend Ross was moving to Dubai. And so we went to the like local amusement park, you know, like, and it was down at the beach because Aberdeen, where I'm from, is a city, it's on the coastline. So of course, everything like amusements and the football stadium and everything is down on the beach. So we were on a roller coaster and you're like at the top and it like holds there for a while. And I remember the sun coming out and we were like, oh my God, sun's out. And there's this saying in Scotland, like sun's out, taps off, which means like you take your tops off. And we all took our tops off and we're in bikini tops. And it was, I think it was either 13 or 14 degrees.
Oh my word. Okay, nobody here is going to take their top off.
On the North Sea too. So like the wind of the North Sea.
No,
like
crazy.
Yeah, but where I'm from, that like, and at that time that was really hot.
It was like a big deal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's so funny. So we were chatting earlier about the classes. You gave a class about signature moves, which is what the show is about.
Yes. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about my signature moves, my love of signature moves?
Yes, please.
So my love of signature moves started from I trained as a dancer in the musical theatre college, but mainly dancer. Don't ask me to sing too much. I only do it for comedy value. And then I went into teaching alongside burlesque, which was great because I was getting to keep fit in the studio, you know, and train up and coming stars and also take my clothes off at the weekends. So it was great.
Best of both worlds.
Exactly. It was a great life. And I was asked to create like a module for assessing, and it was on any dancing that I wanted to do. And there was I was one of the jazz teachers at the time. There's a few other people. So some people were doing like the history of the jazz technique, or you know, musicality, blues, that sort of thing. And I was like, well, I guess the kids these days, are really, you know, the kids these days are really like, you know, obviously are into, you know, Instagram and Facebook and creating visual choreography for video, which is something I'm not great at, but I was a kid of the like MTV generation where we watched music videos and we learned the dances, you know?
Yes.
Like there's ones you just always remember, right? You recorded them, you rewound the videos and you watched them back, you know? I was one of those kids. And then you teach them to your other friends at dance school, and you know that's where I come from. So I was like, well, I'll teach a course about like kind of the history of choreography for video, and that kind of brought me into looking at people. That kind of looked into signature moves, because a lot of the best choreography also surrounded pop stars and their signature moves. So you're looking at like Michael Jackson and the moonwalk, you know, or oh my God, I can't. There's like some, you know, Janet Jackson's whole Rhythm Nation music video, for example. we did the twist, you know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I did everything from like the 60s. We did something from the 70s. We did the Locomotion,
Oh
and we
my
looked at all the
God.
different releases of because the Locomotion was released
It
in
was
the
a new-
60s.
Yeah.
So we looked at versions of the Locomotion that have been released every decade.
Yes.
So there was like, yeah,
and
right through to like the Kylie Showgirl version, and then and so it was all about letting the students not only look at famous choreographers and really cool visual effects that were done for music videos, but it was also about where you could then take that. So then by the end of the course, they got to pick any song they wanted, and they made a music video. And it was all about, they had to have a motif or a signature move. So that's my love of teaching signature moves. Yeah.
That is so fun. Like, oh, we don't have stuff like that. Yeah.
It was a bit crazy. I was like, sometimes some of the ballet teacher would be going past and we were doing the YMCA. And they were like, what is she doing in there? Because I literally did all dance crazes, you know. We were doing like, yeah. And they were like, what is, like, these are professional training students. Why are they standing there doing the YMCA? Like, history.
I feel like you should resurrect this in some way and do it online.
Maybe I will. We'll see what kind of response we have to this video, shall we?
Yes. I'm like signing this petition first. Bring back the signature move class.
I feel like we were destined to have this interview because of this.
Yeah, because I obviously I had no idea that you did this, so it was really cool to find that out. It was so fun.
So what's your interest in signature moves is what I want to know.
Wow. Someone was bound to ask me this question. I still don't really know. Like I did this little online class with Indigo Blue, and one of the things that we were talking about was signature moves. And since then I've been like kind of, I don't really know what my signature move is, to be honest. Like, that's the whole reason I did the show, okay? So I can explore this further.
It's kind of pushing yourself at the same time as doing like interesting like chats with people.
Exactly. So it's like a multi-layered reasons.
You know what I found? I bet if you ask particularly people that have seen you perform a lot, I bet you they will be like, do you ever play that game where you have to do impressions of another performer that you know really well? Like if you had to do their act? That's when you find out what your signature move is.
That is so cool. I should try that. I should ask people what they think my signature move is. Ooh, yes, I'm going to do that. Because I honestly don't know. Like I kind of do in your face kind of things, but like not one specific thing. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Yeah. I have a signature theme. So I don't know. That's my answer to that question. I don't know yet.
That's what your isolation is going to be about. Exploring your signature move.
Yes, exactly. On that note, do you mind showing us your signature move?
Okay. Well, on that note, it's funny that you said you didn't know yours because I had to really think about mine. And mine has come from, like I said, other people telling me what mine is. And then in reflection, I was like, I have used similar, like variations of something. So, okay, I'm going to have to stand up. I'm going to have to move the camera back a little bit just so I can show you the variations.
This outfit is giving me life, by
technology.
The way.
Yeah. Okay, so my signature move in the dance world, we call it full plie in second, which is this kind of shape.
Yes, queen.
Because apparently I've used it a lot. So friends of mine in an old retired act used to do impressions, which went like this, and they're going to laugh if they watch this video. So I was in that position and I'd go, like this a lot. And then in a following, like maybe a year later, I did an act, and I looked back at a video and I did this again, and it became a lunge.
Oh my gosh.
And then I also, in 2 different acts, I have used it to slide down into the splits, which I'm not going to do right now. I'm actually holding myself halfway.
No, man, I'm looking at you like I can't even, I would not, that's like holding that position for that amount of time is insane already. That's crazy.
Oh, and I used it in this as well.
Yeah!
I've become known for is yeah.
Shake that booty. Okay. We all love it.
It's my little thing, or my big love thing. My big booty.
Your big thing.
my big thing is good. So I found that actually when I was trying to think of a move, it was more of like a
collection of moves.
Yeah. That's what I decided my move is.
I love it. That's so cool.
Oh,
it's awesome. But you've said you're a professional trained dancer, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, that helps, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's why I would pick such a weird position. You know, like I don't think most people tend to just
chill like that for like 5 minutes. No, more people can't do that.
Sit in that position for a long time.
No.
But
no,
even when I was teaching, like even when I used to teach dance students as opposed to like burlesque students, I would always say like, give me a sexy full plie. And I always called it a sexy full plie.
Well, there you go. The sexy full plie.
In my head, it's a sexy full plie in second. That's your riskyism.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much for showing me your signature move.
There you go. You can practice that one if you like.
I shall. Because, I mean, like, hello, goals to be able to hold it for that long. Like, I can't do that right
Just
now.
like, I think that's probably why I've always liked doing a lot of squats. I've always done squats, and I've never, like free ones or with weights or
like for fun.
Yeah, and I just have always been, I guess that's, the big booty was going to come in handy sometime.
Well, if not in burlesque, then when?
Exactly. If you can't use your booty in burlesque, when can you use it?
And what is the point of life? Exactly. I am so jealous of your whiskey that you are having right now because I'm dying for one.
Oh,
please have another one for me.
Okay, I'll have one for you.
Two.
I'll take a picture of me having one, and I'll say this. I'll put a little label saying Sophia's whiskey.
And like a lot, like you can have two. You can have two.
Okay. It's Friday night here in Melbourne, so
yay! So you may as well dig into that stash.
This is something I've been asking people this week. What is your what's getting you through isolation? What's your go-to activity or relaxation or or vice?
So like I've been like up and down a lot. So I've kind of, because I've had like lots of other stuff happening in real life as well, which is like, so I've kind of taken this time because I haven't really had a holiday in like ages. So I've like taken this time to like really rest and regroup and think about, in the beginning, I was like really good the first few weeks. Like in the morning, I would stick to my routine, like get up, exercise, do like my meditation, and then kind of halfway through week 3 I was like, fuck this shit, like I'm just gonna like do whatever I feel like doing. I was like baking and doing all kinds of things, but now I'm just chilling. And then I thought of doing this, and this is giving me like a nice creative outlet and feeling like I'm doing something constructive. So because I was kind of feeling like a potato, like I'm not doing anything. So I'm happy that I've kind of, this came to me, and then So this is like giving me something nice to do, because not only I've had to figure out how to edit videos and like what platform works best. And so it's kind of like given my brain like stuff to do. And I've learned a new skill in it, like in the process.
Totally. It's funny you say that, because this is the first time I've put makeup on or properly brushed my hair in 5.5 weeks.
Ah, no way.
Because even when I've been teaching, I've always been a teacher who doesn't wear makeup when I'm teaching, so I've kind of got away with that. And because I'm not going out or doing anything or seeing anyone,
why would you?
Why would I? You know, and initially it's like, oh, I'm giving my skin the rest. Like my skin's enjoying, I'm an eczema sufferer. So it was like great, getting loads of moisture and like having a lovely time and not being scrubbed. And then you, like you say, you get into that sort of week 3 or week 4 of it and you're just like, well, I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm not even doing it for a purpose. I'm just like,
Exactly.
And I find that I'm so lucky. And it's good to have these kind of outlets. The same with me with teaching. It's just once a week, but it's that once a week I then can focus on that. And I also do work with a charity called Grace Pads, which I'm an ambassador of.
Oh, that's awesome. What do they do?
And it's based in Malawi. They are menstrual hygiene management.
That's amazing. Charity. I love that.
So they're based, they have offices here in Australia, but that's how I got in touch with them. But it's a Malawian run organization, and all the products, so it's like reusable sanitary towels, but not just the pads, it's like a whole store wash and dry kit. So it's teaching particularly young girls, but women as well, about how to manage their periods, because not everyone has access, particularly in Malawi, not everyone has access to clean water all the time, or
sanitary products or anything. Yeah,
the sanitary products, when they showed me the prices, it's about, I think it's about 1/5 of the average Malawian's salary.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
And like girls don't go to school because when they have their periods and they miss out. And,
and that's the whole thing. They're trying to break the stigma and give girls control over it and make them not leave school, because obviously that then just furthers the equality gap and the pay gap and all of these different things. And it's something I'm as a bit of a boss lady, I kind of was like, I've always tried to break the stigma of talking about menstruation anyway. Just even in the Western world, because even in the UK, like you mention periods and people go, and you're like,
why? It happens every time from a woman. Yeah.
Why? Like half of the world have it. Exactly. Yeah. So I met the wonderful girls from Grace Pads, and I've decided to work with them. And I actually approached them and said, hey, I'm like in isolation and I've got lots of time on my hands, so I'm helping them with little admin tasks, and
it's awesome.
And it's really nice to like you said, it's giving you a purpose, right? It's giving you like an activity. Yeah,
keeping your brain going and feeling like you're doing something constructive. Like that's nice.
Exactly. It's time management too, right? I'm not going to lie to everyone. I am rubbish. I'm the least like self-motivated person out there, so I have to thank you for asking me to do this, because you kicked my butt into gear.
And you're wearing makeup.
I put makeup on, I brushed my hair, I actually put a shirt on that I've been waiting to wear for ages. I bought it before isolation and I love it.
Literally giving me life, this outfit. It is so cool.
And I just thought,
look, you're doing it. You're doing it.
And so thank you for that. You've inspired me to keep being creative.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Thank you.